Hey guys, so I'm back with another thought for the day. Thought for the day number 3. Today's one is looking at having the right attitude in all situations. And I know this is something that sounds quite simple, but actually when you're going through a challenging or a difficult time, it can be really hard to have the right attitude. I know when we first went into social distancing measures and having to spend almost all of your time at home, I was really quite negative about this, and I let my thoughts go into quite a negative spiral. And then God challenged me on that and challenged me on actually, although there are so many things we can't do at the moment, there's also an opportunity to do so many things that maybe we didn't have the time to before, and the idea of being thankful. And I know that when you're going through a challenging time, you can often feel like you're going through it alone. And it's not until you look back on it a lot later that you can see God moving in that situation. So one of the things I've been trying to do during lockdown is to keep a list of things I'm thankful for. Things that maybe I've had the opportunity to do that I didn't have before. I've been spending a lot of time trying to learn the guitar. I've been doing jigsaw puzzles, which is something I love that I just didn't have the time to do before. But other days, when I look at my list of things I'm thankful for, I'm just thankful that the day's over and that I've managed to survive another day. And it can be quite challenging when you're going through these difficult times to know where you can find things to be thankful for. And in today's thought for the day, it focuses on Philippians chapter 4, verses 8 to 9. And in this it says, "Fix your thoughts on what is true, honourable and right, and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all you learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you." And I know that can be sometimes quite easy to listen to, but not really understand how that can play out in your life. And when it says fixing your thoughts, and you can go, oh, well, I can think about that. Okay, I think about the right things. But actually, it's when you're having a negative thought going, right, yeah, okay. But what in that situation that you're feeling negative about can you look at and be positive? For me, I find being at home with the same people all day, every day quite challenging. But actually, if I then look at that in a positive attitude rather than the negative of I'm fed up of being with the same people, and I look at it in that positive attitude of I'm getting to spend time with my family that I don't normally get to. We all are really busy, we all have busy lives normally, and we don't have the opportunity to spend loads of time together. So although they can be frustrating and I can find it difficult, I can also have the attitude in that of seeing the good and seeing the positives that come from it. And it says later on in the UCB Bible notes about in 2 Corinthians 10:5, where it says, "Take every thought captive and make it obedient to God." And negative thoughts aren't what God wants for us. He wants us to see him in all situations. And it may feel like he's not in those situations, but he is. He's in it with you and he wants what is best for you. So the challenge it gives you in the UCB Bible notes is next time you experience a negative thought about a situation, write it down and then think about how you could change it to be a thought which lines up with God. And then to write down a new positive thought about the situation. And that sounds like it could be quite simple, but it might be quite challenging. But that's okay. God doesn't say things are always going to be easy. He says all things are possible with him who gives us strength. So maybe if you do start feeling negative about something or you start struggling with something, write it down and write over the top of it a positive from that situation. So for me, my biggest one in lockdown was I was really not looking forward to only being able to go outside for exercise once a day. and that being the only time I was allowed outside. So my negative thought was, I'm going to be trapped inside all day, every day. But if I then look at that in a positive way of, actually, it's got me into a much better routine with exercise. I am much more consistent with using that 1 hour to exercise. And there's things I can do around the house to get exercise that don't mean going outside. So there's that negative situation that you can look at and go, that's really hard, that's not fair. And re-spin it, and you can look at it and go, actually, this is the opportunity I've got in that. So that is all for today. So going away from this, next time you are feeling negative about something, whatever it is, write it down and write over it a positive that is coming from that. And if you're struggling to do that, ask God, what is a positive that could come from it? Maybe you can't see anything straight away, and maybe you just need to leave that thought for a few days and try and ignore it and forget about it. But then look back on it and maybe you'll see where God has been at work in that situation. So I hope you'll be able to go from this, finding some different things where God has been moving in your lives, and maybe you've not noticed it before. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have another one coming soon.